Too many people think they fucking know me. Might charge you double when I cop a OZ. Might pop a oxy and I'll fucking OD. Tony.
All right, everybody, we're here with another episode of Around the Corner. I'm your host, Ethan Doors.
Z-Dad here, and we got a couple of guests this time. Let's start with you.
This is Griffin Nelson. I sing and play guitar in chess club.
I'm Cooper Avery. I play drums in chess club.
I'm David, and I play bass in chess club.
Sweet. So, how'd you get the name Chess Club? Did you guys actually meet at chess club?
That would be a much more interesting story. But we were taking, we were like 14 or 15, and we were taking a walk around our neighborhood, and the closest elementary school to us said that there's a chess club meeting on Monday. We were like, that'd be a good name for like a hardcore band, because we thought it'd be ironic, but it didn't end up panning out to be that way. Now we just play the music we do now.
Do any of you guys actually play chess?
I don't even know how to play chess.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think
Pretty good at it?
Yeah.
I played it a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could play it now.
Did Queen's Gambit make you want to just hop back into that?
Yeah.
I've seen like the ad for it on Netflix.
I haven't seen it either, dude. Don't worry.
You guys are missing out. It is a super top class fucking TV show.
Right. Yeah,
Bro,
I've heard
that
good
chick is
things.
really good.
Yeah.
So I guess how did you guys meet then if it wasn't chess club?
Well, Griff and I met through another friend on Xbox Live, actually.
Classic.
Yeah, our friend Steve, he was friends with another member of another band that we were in, and we needed a bassist, and he knew of Griff, so that's why we have Griff. And then that band ended, and then we recruited David.
I don't care.
David. Whatever.
And that was years and years later. I've known Griff since we were 12.
12, yeah. So, yeah, it was just like the summer after 6th grade for us, and we all got together. But then you two knew each other because you went to middle school together.
Yeah, pretty much.
What middle school was that?
We both went to Central.
Central. Yeah. Shout out Central.
Some freaking
out.
townies.
Yeah, but yeah, so then once we got Dave in the band, we've been together since, and now we're all 22. So we started when we were 15, so
Oh, wow.
it feels like we've been together forever. But yeah.
So how did you guys get your sound? Because you guys are like really technically sound players in every way. So like, how did you get that? Is it all like, is it like actual like writing notes on paper to make shit, or is it all like just riffing and?
It's mostly just riffing. Well, so I've always felt like I've written like pretty basic songs or stuff like that. I typically have like maybe kind of a cool riff that sounds tight to me, but it's really like these guys who make it sound like super full and more technical, and so I think we've always collaborated really well in that way. But
Yeah, we're definitely not like into like music theory or like honestly inclined to music in that way at all.
I don't know any music theory.
Yeah,
like
not
I
at
couldn't
all.
tell.
I don't know what key we're playing in. I don't even know the time signature half the time. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's just like a
Damn.
math rock band.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all just jamming for like 7 years constantly and
Exactly.
liking similar shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot of the technical stuff is just like feel. It's just like, oh, I like how like rhythms sound when they aren't like
Exactly.
as like, you know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
On the downbeat instead of
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's just like that sounds cool.
Do
So
you guys
let's
have
do
any
that.
major influences?
Oh yeah, you can start.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know,
let's go one
for
by
like,
one.
for like technical like math rock side of stuff, like I don't know, like Don Caballero, Kella, like Terra Melos, stuff like that. At least in terms of like my bass playing and like math rock, definitely those bands for sure. I don't know.
What about you?
Yeah, what?
I don't know if I can pinpoint like specific artists, but I really like metal and hardcore music, so I take a lot of like techniques from those genres and try to put them into chess club stuff.
Yeah. And then for me, it's a lot of like kind of like the alt rock bands from the 90s and like a lot of emo bands from the 90s
Right.
and 2000s is where I get a lot of it. But I don't know, recently I've been listening to a lot of different kinds of music. Like I've been listening to like some 80s funk, new wave, and then like Phoebe Bridgers. I've been listening to a lot of Phoebe Bridgers recently, so it's kind of like everywhere. But then like we were just talking about one of our favorite hardcore bands like the other day, so I've been trying to expand some of my taste to not be so just emo shit all the time. But, yeah.
Were you like classical emos? Were you guys like all the time going to Warped Tour and doing all that shit?
Admittedly, yeah.
Griff and I have gone to a few Warped Tours.
Yeah, we went to a few Warped Tours. Well, because we were, yeah. we went to a few. We have some fun stories from that shit, but.
Tell them we got fucking time.
Time, do your thing.
There's one guy. So we've been super into like metalcore for a long time, but like especially when we were younger, we were into that, like all that kind of stuff.
As hard as it could possibly get when you're 13 years old.
Exactly.
Fucking
It's
Attila, Born of Osiris,
Yeah,
all that shit.
Exactly. And so we were like 14 or 13 or whatever, and like we went to the Granada to see like the Devil Wears Prada and like a few other bands, and we're together, and then there's this guy in the pit who's like just grabbed somebody and is just like beating the shit out of him, and we're like, oh my god, and this is like such an intense show. Terrified. And then we go to Warped Tour that summer, and that guy's standing in line in front of us, and we're like, Jesus, we're like, we need to get the hell out of here. But you had the guts to go up and talk to him. I was fucking terrified.
Try to get
Yeah,
on his good side.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, weren't you the guy that was beating the shit out of people at the Devil Wears Prada? He's like, yeah, that was me.
He's like, I'm pretty proud
of it.
It's like I'm known for that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought it was just ironic because he had a cross neckless, and I was just
Oh,
like,
God.
Yeah.
just like
Getting some inner resentments out.
Yeah, it's like apparently that's cool, but whatever. It's stupid.
I lost a friend in a circle pit once, like at Warped Tour. I forget what, 2015 maybe. And it's just like going in a circle, and you're just going, and then my friend just trips and just gone, just in a sea of people, and I'm like, he's dead. He just got trampled. We're fucking 15 years old. There's no way he's coming back. I caught him like 30 minutes later. He's like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, I slowed down in the circle to try to like catch up to you.
You're like, I didn't do shit. You're the one that.
Yeah, you got lost in a circle. Where the fuck did you go?
Yeah, jeez. That's relatable.
So I've heard a couple of your songs. I know you guys have a couple albums out, 3, right?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
So the song Right Now, you guys did the live session on YouTube. Do you guys have any specific influences on that song? Because to me, and I could be totally wrong, but it sounded a lot like Circa Survive's Get Out. And that's mostly the guitar, but
I love that song.
It is so
I was
good.
listening to that song yesterday. I
Yeah.
love Circus. Damn, you got a good ear.
I heard it and I'm like, oh, that guitar, I know where that comes from. I feel like, and
Yeah.
I could be wrong as far as where
Oh my
you
god,
felt
that,
like it.
that sounds so. I didn't realize that until now. Holy shit, I'm impressed. But yeah, no, Circus Survives is great. I love that.
But you weren't intending on that. It just
No,
kinda happened
oh man,
organically.
I'm getting called out now.
No, I'm not gonna call you out by any means.
No,
but
you're good.
it was just something that
Yeah,
kind of relevant to me.
No, that's like dead on. Wow, I didn't
I
even
don't know if we ever like intend necessarily for
course,
something,
yeah.
but like definitely there are like certain songs that we get through writing it and it's like, oh, this sounds a lot like this, but also it seems like everybody like hears like what they want in music for like the
Right,
better,
yeah.
you know, like that's something that's great
Mhm.
about music. It's like, oh, I see this in it, or someone else sees something else.
Mhm.
There can only be so many riffs and so much shit.
I mean, at this point, like, it's so easy to publish music now and get your music heard too. So it's just like, if something sounds similar, I mean,
It's not a bad.
it's
thing.
not a bad thing.
I'm not
I mean,
saying it's
yeah.
bad.
Oh,
I like
no,
the
yeah.
song, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm still just like, oh yeah, you're totally right. It does sound like that. But I know, which that's also funny because that's probably for the new record, that's my favorite song on the new record.
Yeah.
Is right
Yeah.
now. It's just like, I think because we wrote that super fast. Like I think we had finished it in like an hour or two maybe, which usually for some bands do that, but we usually take a really long time to write our songs, like way too fucking long. But
Which one of you guys are more the lyrical person that writes the lyrics, and
that's me.
that's you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I see online that it says that you guys like do everything yourselves, produce everything. How did you get started in like production? Was it just having mics and wanting to figure it out when you're super young?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the early days of us getting together, it would be like we'd write a couple of songs, but then we'd eventually like demo it out ourselves. And whenever we wanted to actually like put it out, we'd go record with somebody, but they were purely just capturing whatever we came up with. And that's still very much the way it is.
Yeah, and even those settings were like DIY, if you will. Like it was just some dude's basement. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, this past record was the first time we actually went into a studio and like worked with like a professional engineer in terms of like capturing the sound. But
Yeah.
What studio? Was it around here?
Weights and Measures in Kansas City, Kansas, right?
Kansas City Mo.
No, okay.
Okay.
Close enough. But yeah, I know that going to that studio was awesome because it was a huge studio, bunch of gear. It's
Yeah.
like you kind of feel slightly intimidated when you walk in, but the guy that owns it, his name's Dwayne, and he's like the coolest person you'd ever meet. He's so chill. Like you just tell him to do something, he's just like, yeah, sure, no problem. Just does it. Like, awesome.
Yeah.
So easy to work with. Such a
feel like
likable guy.
All bands our size too, especially like within like our like music scene or whatever, if you will, or like DIY, whether they like identify as like being a DIY band or not. It's like, okay, you're booking all your own tours, like you manage your band, like
Right.
you do everything like yourself essentially, so it is still DIY. But
So how do you like start having a conversation with like a venue about like doing a tour? Is it just being like, we have a van, we're gonna be in this city at this time, we could stop by your city at this time the next day if you want?
I wish it was easy, but I mean, Dave, that was all you. Our first tour was all you booking that, and so
it's a lot of begging, a lot of finding like random places too where you wouldn't think that like a good show would happen, and just being open-minded about it, being like, okay, we'll play in a kombucha shop, we'll play in the basement of a tattoo parlor, we'll play in your basement. Like you just have to be open to playing anywhere, and if there's people there who want to hear the music, it's going to be a good show. So it's like,
No,
it's like
right.
not necessarily like, and like contacting real venues, it's just like, you know, sending out 1 million emails and hoping one replies. It's like, that's
Right.
basically it, you know. But then contacting DIY venues and like house show owners and stuff, it's like
right.
kind of the same deal, you know. But
Do you have a favorite venue locally that you go to? That's your, if they ever invite you, you guys are always saying yes to
White
that.
Schoolhouse,
White,
probably.
yeah, White School. As soon as we get to play shows again, I mean, we want to do a release show there this summer. Well, a release show for the record that we just put out. But yeah, I mean, White Schoolhouse. Anytime they hit us up, we're just like, cool, sounds good, we'll be there because that place is just so cool. It's such a
Yeah.
nice place to go.
Where's that at? If you don't mind giving them a shout
North
out.
Lawrence.
Yeah, it's in North
Yeah.
Lawrence. I wish I knew exactly the address, but yeah, it's
See, you never like. Yeah, the TP.
Okay.
place,
Exactly.
whatever,
Yeah.
So tiny. So tiny.
So
I've,
you
I've only
guys-
seen pictures of it. I'm like, how is this a venue? You can have like 30 people.
White Schoolhouse?
yeah.
I mean, just from the picture,
I mean,
it might just be
compared to,
perspective.
Like a real like venue like the Granada or something, yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking
it's
really
tiny,
small.
right? But like
But-
if you're like, if you want to have 50 to 100 people max at a show, like 100 people would, that place would be packed, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for our 2018 release, we did our release show there, and there's over 100 people there, and it felt like, oh my god, it kind of
Yeah.
felt like dangerous.
Well,
almost.
I just say like, oh, you think it's small because like we've played in venues that are smaller than this living room,
Right.
So it's like, it's
Oh,
like
dude.
to me,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, it's like a pretty big size DIY venue in a lot of
Yeah.
senses. So.
Because yeah,
Packed like sardines.
yeah, exactly.
So do you guys ever branch out and try different instruments, or are you guys strictly on what you guys do right now?
Yeah, I mean, so in chess club we keep it bass, drums, guitar. But like we've always had side projects because I can play bass and drums, and then play guitar and bass, and then plays guitar and drums as well. And so it's just like, so we can all, and I think that's kind of what makes like writing so much fun in our band, is because like we kind of know where each piece is coming from, and so like we know like when to kind of like step off to let something sound cool, or like whenever. But yeah, you have anything to add? You look like you wanted to talk.
You said what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Stole
He
your
doesn't
answer.
ever look like he wants to talk.
Got me.
Talk when spoken to.
So how do you guys come up with your cover art? Is it something one person designs, or
Yeah, who designed your cover art?
Well, our most recent album cover was designed by M. Randall.
Okay.
So it was the first time that we've sourced out a different person to do our album art. The other releases were done by us two, collaboratively. Yeah.
So how did you choose that one? Did he send you like 5 mock-ups, or was it just like, you're lucky I like you, and he's like, I'll figure it out?
So she was
Or she.
like, no, you're good.
Misgendering. They.
No, you're good. You're good.
Cancel him.
Yeah, canceled. No, well, so we've known about her art for a while, and when we first reached out to her, we were just like, she knew our band name, but we were like, hey, like, this is the album title. We knew that's what we were going to want to name it. And then so she sent us like 3 designs, and we thought that was like the coolest one of the 3. They were all super cool, but we thought that one had a bit more of like, people could kind of make it out to be like whatever they think it is.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was interesting, at least. But yeah.
Do you guys have like merch for it and stuff like that?
We will be getting some T-shirts for it soon. So.
Pre-order them.
Yeah, you can pre-order them, but we don't have them in town yet. But we should have them soon.
Look for it on the Twitter.
Yeah. Look for the post later.
In the Bandcamp and everything like that.
Please buy.
So also on your Bandcamp, you have a sweet vinyl. How did you get a sick vinyl like that? And isn't that pretty expensive?
Yeah.
Like vinyl is fucking
It's
super expensive.
Well, you can go.
Well, we're a part of a Black Site collective, and so they helped us pay for the price for the vinyl. So
Yeah.
it's not all out of our pocket, but we're paying them back and everything.
Yeah, so yeah, it's very much collaborative. I mean, Black Site's helped us out in so many ways, and I mean, they've done a lot with like a lot of other bands, but we just so happen to know them, and we did our last record, we did a cassette for that, which was pretty cool, and that seemed to do pretty well, so then we kind of took the next step to do vinyl. But yeah, it's always been daunting for us, because I know, like, since day one, I mean, I remember like the first week of us being like us 3 as a band, we were just like, wouldn't it be so sick if we could get on vinyl? And then to think now, like, we actually have it, it's like pretty surreal, because he's got like 200 plus records.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's one of my like main hobbies is collecting vinyl. So it's like super cool to have, music that I created with others on vinyl in my collection.
yeah.
So who has it framed?
I don't have it
No one
framed.
yet.
No one
What?
yet.
I
No
would
one
frame
yet.
that
That's a good
immediately.
idea.
I know.
Get like 3 of them.
Well, so we're all gonna be moving in together in August, and so I have so many ideas for what our practice space is gonna.
I want to
look
make a
like.
chess club shrine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the corner where that's where we pray before practice.
It's
But-
like all the Kiss stuff, and it's just
Yeah, exactly.
literally everything, all your like Funko Pops and all
Yeah.
that, but it's you.
We make a chess club coffin and all that stuff.
So you said you collected vinyls. Where do you get those? Is it mostly just is it Soundgarden or not Soundgarden?
Love Garden?
Love Garden. In town here.
Soundgarden.
Getting mixed up.
I've spent copious amounts of money at Love Garden, but
Yes.
I also buy them online from like bands like Bandcamp pages.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I see.
That's typically what I do. I just went there. I just went to Love Garden the other day. Actually, I got some good records, but I think now what my favorite record in my collection is 50 Cent's "Get Rich or Die Trying." Oh my God, such a
What's
good.
so good
record.
about it is like the
I
middle
just-
art. And
I love that
cover art.
record. Oh, it's such a. I love. When I was a kid, I loved my music taste is really weird. When I was a kid, I loved Green Day, Corn, and 50 Cent and Nelly a lot for some weird reason.
That sounds pretty cool to me.
Testosterone.
Good
Yeah,
mix
yeah.
in there.
It was, but yeah, it was like $40 at Love Garden, and I was like, damn, that's kind of expensive. But I was just like, I'm gonna listen to it all the time, so fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
I was so happy I got it.
Have you ever seen the actual thing close up? I forget the record close up. Have you ever seen a zoomed in picture of a record close up? It's pretty crazy looking. It's actually
like the grooves of it.
yeah, the actual
I
grooves.
think
I mean,
I
just
have.
mountains. It's
No,
Insane to me.
I've never. So our label guy, our label rep, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to records and vinyl, and he's probably explained to me a million times how that shit works, but I could not tell you. I don't remember it, but yeah, he's just tells me all this technical stuff. I'm
It's
just
like when someone tries to explain a theremin.
Yeah, you're just like, sure.
You put your finger here and it makes this tone, but put your finger here it makes this tone. But
Right.
why is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Lasers and shit.
he was just so knowledgeable, and I mean that's why like our record. I mean we recorded it in a really nice studio, but the record itself just has such a good sound, and it's because I mean Sean, our guy, he knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to records. But yeah.
So we touched on it briefly as far as the whole COVID changing things for you guys. Are you guys still doing shows now, or are you guys trying to reach out? I know Lawrence is pretty hard to get anywhere booked,
Yeah,
but
I
are you
know.
guys outsourcing anywhere else?
I don't think we've played a show since last February.
Yeah, it was February. It was like February 7th of 2020,
Yeah.
because we were gonna take a break to record the record, so we stopped playing shows to like prepare to record for the record, and then we recorded February 29th and March 1st of 2020, and then like 2 weeks later, the whole world falls
Yeah.
apart. So, but yeah, we haven't played anything since. We really want to though.
Yeah, hopefully this summer or early fall.
Yeah.
That's kind of the plan.
It'd be awesome.
Gotta get it started. I bet places are getting booked up quick.
Yeah, I started talking to a few people, but nothing serious has really come up from it as of right now. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
real tough.
Do you guys have like pretty good relationships with all the people who book like the replay and stuff like that?
Yeah, like we've gotten, since we've just been around for so long, like we've gotten some pretty good connections, but really like most of our good connections, like really like close connections, are out of town, typically Kansas City. We book a lot, well, when we were still booking, I guess. But yeah, we used to play in Kansas City, like honestly more than we would play in Lawrence, but you know, yeah.
There's just so many more bars, so much more opportunity.
Yeah, and it seems like just people kind of like the style of music too out there a little bit more than they do in Lawrence, but you know.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think bands are kind of dying off the mainstream?
Well, I don't know in Lawrence if necessarily bands are dying off the mainstream, but like Lawrence has always kind of been really into like the indie rock kind of sound, and you know, I love that music too, but you know, you don't see too many like Lawrence metal bands. You don't see too many Lawrence like or stuff like that. And so I think, you know, Lawrence just kind of has its genre for the most part, but it's not a bad thing at all. But in Kansas City, there's just, like you said, there's just so many places to play and so many people. So, but yeah.
Do you guys have any local bands that you feel like is your guys' competitor?
I feel like I used to feel that way when we were a lot younger. I was like, oh, there's another emo band in town. What the fuck?
Yeah,
if there's
exactly.
another emo band in town, I'd be like,
Hell
hell
yes,
Like,
yeah.
let's
Yeah.
hang out. Like,
Yeah.
not that I want to play with any band or any musician, like, for sure. But if there's another, like, similar artist, like, in Lawrence, then I'd be really pumped about it. But
Yeah.
so, not really right now for me, at least personally.
Yeah, no, I mean, like when I was younger, I would get weird about it. I'd be like, oh, there's another band. Oh no, we're like they're challenging us, and like that totally wasn't the case. But now, if I hear that there's like another band in Lawrence, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. It's like,
You guys know Sam Thomas?
Yep, yeah.
I saw one of his shows. I'm not sure if he's a part of a band or not, but he's
Yeah.
in that same lane-ish as far as live instruments
Yeah,
goes.
his band just did a KJHK live session before we did too. Yeah, no, he's a cool guy. He's
He's
real
cool.
nice.
I was in orchestra with him.
Oh hell yeah, that's what's up.
Did you guys do any musical instruments through school growing up?
I played clarinet in band. I did
Gang.
marching band for a year in high school, too. It's kind of awful.
Yeah.
I did percussion through middle school and up to sophomore year of high school, and they started doing like marching band warm-ups and stuff, learning all that stuff, and I was not into it.
You should have joined jazz band. Get on the set.
Back then, I didn't really like jazz, and I didn't know how to play it. So I was like, okay, I'll just play in my own bands. It's fine.
Too cool for school. I did not play any instruments in school. I did trumpet for 1 year when I was forced to. I had no choice, but I couldn't bring myself to it. I didn't like my band teacher at the time. I thought he was mean, so I was like, I don't think this is cool. But now I kind of regret it. I wish I would have done something like orchestra. That would have been so much cooler and really useful now.
Oh, you're the only person that thinks that would have been cooler.
Fair enough.
Get more knowledgeable about
No, I mean,
the
it's
actual
cool.
theory.
You get to read sheet music and you kind of learn some different lingo as far as music goes. But
Right.
I mean, I haven't picked up an instrument since high school, so.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
You guys opened up for Joyce Manor in town. Was that a dream come true?
That was that was a pretty big deal for us. I mean, I hadn't ever really listened to Joyce Manor like a whole lot, but I mean, we all knew who they were. And, yeah.
I really liked them in like freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
So to play with them, you know, a few years later, it was just kind of like it. I was stoked on it, honestly.
Oh, I was when we got asked. I was like, I think I said yes to it before asking them if they could play. And I was just like, whatever you guys got going on that day, I don't care. Like, we're gonna go play with them.
Yeah, we were out of high school, and that was only like a couple of years ago.
That was a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think it was
Whenever we played with bands that we knew when we were in high school, though, that felt like a dream come true. 'Cause
Yeah.
It felt like we were still kids, and I was like, oh shit, playing with this like cool like touring band, you know, that I liked before. So it's like when we were
Right.
younger, I definitely got that feeling. It was like, oh, we're opening for this band. That's crazy. But
Well, so we were told what was really cool about that Joyce Manor show, other than getting to play with Joyce Manor, was apparently their manager said that they wanted us to play that show. And we had never met them before or knew that they knew that we were a band, but for them to be like, we want you guys to play was like, holy shit.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was so excited.
yeah, I guess they're probably looking for locals, right?
Yeah, they were looking for, they were probably looking for
Someone
bands.
dropped us or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think just kind of right place, right time kind of stuff. But I was just then when I heard that, I was like, holy shit, we must be a cool band, I guess.
Are there huge differences in shows that are just like house shows compared to opening up for shit like that? Like, because nobody knows who you are versus.
Yeah, I mean that's like, I don't know. What do you think?
House shows are like, and DIY shows in general are like way more intimate than playing at like a venue. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like a little more like laid back because you're not at like an actual establishment. Like you're at somebody's house. It's more like a party or whatever, you know. And then like honestly like playing just on the floor with no stage because then people can like be like right up in your face and stuff. So
Right.
and then like yeah, you're right. It's like when you're playing at like a big venue opening for a band and no one knows you. It's like it's a little bit intimidating. It feels kind of weird versus like a house show. It's like okay,
Right.
these are like my best friends and their friends, you know, and it's just here to have a good time. So
Yeah, well, so the last show that we played was like I wouldn't necessarily even call it a house show. It was like a party and bands were playing. But we got up there and I mean, like people were, it was pre-COVID and you know, people were just going nuts for every band that played. And so it was so much fun. Like it was so laid back. And we were playing with one of our friend bands, Kill Vargas, and they're from Wichita and they've done a lot of great stuff.
Did you guys ever do anything in Denton, Texas?
Oh.
Texas.
Didn't-
I'm not even gonna start it.
We just had our last guests were
Straight
out
from them.
literally from Denton, Texas.
Oh, who
and
was
they're
it?
Drippy Denton.
Drippy Denton. Yeah, Drippy Denton.
His name's Nathan something. I
Okay.
forget. But
And-
straight from Denton.
I
Straight
don't-
Dallas Fort Worth peoples.
I don't think I'm familiar, but I mean, Denton, Texas, man, what a cool fucking place. That place is awesome.
Shout out
Hell
to
yeah.
Danny Locke.
Yeah, shout out to Danny Locke, shout out to House of God. All those places are so many good shows. Killer's Tacos, such a cool place.
So they were saying that it's a lot like Lawrence. Like even similar size, even similar policies and everything.
It's a college town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much a college town.
So as someone from Lawrence, what's the differences you've seen? Because they were saying that it's pretty much same type of people, same kind of vibe they were getting. Is there any differences that you can speak out on?
It seems like some of like the like rock bands, if you will, from Denton get like a lot like a local like love. Not that bands here don't get local love, but it seems like people there are like super about their local music. And
That's what-
super about their local bands
Yeah.
and super about DIY music and DIY
Yeah,
culture. So
well, that's
that
what I
would
was
be the
gonna say.
difference.
Yeah, because like when we played there, I mean, we were talking to some of the people that own the houses there, like the house venues, and they had like 6 or 7 of them going at the
Yeah,
time.
there's like 10 plus house venues in Denton, Texas. So like,
Right,
it's
which
like-
Lawrence
yeah.
very much used to be that way, but it recently it's kind of just dwindled down a little
Yeah,
bit.
like when I first started booking like our tours and stuff, and I would like look at Dallas or whatever. Denton started popping up, and then like I remember like I would literally just book our tours through Facebook or whatever, just message like okay, there's a House of God, like exactly like they just had a Facebook page, so I'd message it.
Such a cool place.
But yeah, it was like once I would like one like Denton like house show Facebook page, it would just be like recommended, and there'd be like 5 other pages of like Denton house venues. I was like, oh okay, like apparently this place likes DIY music. So.
Yeah, that'd probably be the biggest difference. Is
Yeah.
just that. I mean, maybe if it was like 5-10 years ago, it'd be even more similar. But now that we have like White Schoolhouse and all that kind of stuff, like DIY is very much kind of coagulated a little bit in that sense. But yeah, Denton, Texas, man, that place is so cool. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's kind of similar to the way they were saying it. They get a lot of local support, and it is a little bit different here. Everyone seems to be doing their own thing, so they don't really have time to support another musician when they're out there trying to create their own art, for sure. So I guess what else do you guys do besides in your band? What do you do for money? What's your job?
Welfare.
Really though?
In the past year, yes.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah,
Can't knock it.
Yeah.
I work for Eat Street, so I just drive around all day
There you
and
go.
give people food, get
Fucking
tips
DoorDash gang.
sometimes.
Yeah.
This guy.
Dude, why do people only tip like 10% of the time? Dude, I would live in KC, so I DoorDash up there, and I swear to God, when I get a tip, I'm hyped. And I'm like, I thought you were supposed to tip every single time.
Yeah, you should.
It's disappointing.
It's the worst because, like, you can drive like 7-8 miles across town, not knowing that you're not going to get a tip, and you hit drop off, and then they're like, okay, your order's been completed. It doesn't say you got a tip.
Right.
So it's a crapshoot because sometimes you get like $12, sometimes you get like 75 cents.
Oh, fuck.
It's a slap in the face.
I'd be
Yeah.
I'd much rather you just not tip at that
Yeah.
point. Like 75 cents. Fuck that.
And what about you?
I work at a restaurant downtown, and sometimes I do like freelance video work on the side. But yeah, that's kind of.
What restaurant?
I work at a Limestone downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Limestone.
It's a good place.
What type of video work do you do?
It's either like kind of business stuff, or most of my music video stuff is just kind of like for fun with my friends. But sometimes I shoot music videos.
Did you go to school for any of that, or?
Yeah, so I'm currently still in college for that, but I've been taking film classes since middle school. So that's kind of been ideally that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, other than music, that is. But I'd just like to shoot music videos for the rest of my life, like Cole Bennett type stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's crazy. It's Cole Bennett, even though you make emo music.
Yeah, the Cole Bennett. I would take that title, Cole Bennett of emo music. That'd be great.
We're trying to be the Brian Stars of this generation.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys go to school or anything?
Yeah, I go to KU, studying social welfare. So I graduate.
What does
next
that
spring.
entail? Social
work.
welfare.
It's like a pretty broad. It's a generalist field, if you will. So there's a lot you can do with it, but I plan on doing like clinical mental health work of some type. I don't know if I want to be a therapist or work somewhere in some sort of institution, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That'd be crazy, just dealing with crazy people all the time who don't know they're crazy.
That's me,
It'd
probably.
be pretty intimidating.
You'll see me
Sure.
soon, I'm sure.
What about you, Cooper? What do you do? You go to school?
Yeah, I go to Johnson County, a community college. It's my last semester, and then in the fall I'm going to go to KU studying geology.
Geology.
Yep.
Tight. What do you plan on doing with that? Anything?
I'd like to work for like the Kansas Geological Survey or the United States Geological Survey, doing like field research, taking soil samples and mapping stuff out, stuff like that.
Cool. So you made some merch, right? How did you get started with that?
Here's someone named Cooper. Helped you guys out?
He's Cooper.
I know, but
No,
Okay, no.
Same Cooper, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of collaborated on a lot of the merch up until recently. But yeah, a lot of the early stuff was all done by him. So Yeah.
Yeah, back when I still had the Adobe Creative Suite,
Yeah.
I had to stop paying for it because it was like, it ended up being like $35 a month for 1 month, and I was like, can't do that.
Yeah.
Fuck
Can't
that.
do that.
So is it all just mouse and like, or did you have like an iPad or something that you were drawing on?
I just used a computer mouse. Like most of it was just like the pen tool.
Damn, that's crazy. It's fucking talent. Making nothing out of something so basic. It's like Microsoft Paint into some fucking merch.
Yeah.
So moving forward, are you guys planning on doing outsourcing or relying on Cooper for the art?
Well, I think like one of the coolest things about doing the art through M was, I mean, it was like kind of a stress off of our shoulders, just because it was like one less thing to think about, to do like the music, the video stuff, all the social media stuff. Like when it's just three of us, it can get really overwhelming. But I don't know. In the future, we'll probably still continue to collaborate on merch stuff. But I think for like when it comes to like main release stuff, like if we're ever planning on doing anything like big, then we'll probably have somebody else do it, just so that our brains can rest for a second and stop thinking. But you know.
To get your record made and like have all the album art and all that stuff, did everything have to go through some like crazy lawyer process of like making sure it's all, you're not copying off someone else or doing anything like that?
No, I mean, I think it's still very DIY in a lot of sense, where like, I mean, we just shot the artist an email, and she was just like, yeah, cool, sounds good. Like, here's how much you owe me. And we're like, sweet. And then it was the same very straightforward process with recording. Even like, you know, Dwayne is just all over Messenger. You know, we didn't have to sign anything weird, and you know, it's very straightforward. Even with Black Site, like, it's still just kind of like shooting emails back and forth. Pretty simple stuff.
So are they like a record company like putting it out, or are they more like a platform for you to like put your music out on as a record company type thing?
I mean,
like, are you signed to them?
it's kind of like a,
Sean calls it a collective. So
Yeah.
it's more like a group of artists like trying to help each other out more than anything. You know,
Right.
like they're definitely along the lines of like a record label, right?
Right.
And there's plenty of like small like DIY record labels that operate essentially the same way they do.
Right.
But it's like, are they like paying for us to go and do like a studio and like paying for all the vinyl and expecting like just to make a bunch of money off of
Right.
selling our records? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just like they just like genuinely want to see us do well and like
Right.
make art. you
That's
know?
what I would say. I mean, that's always been Sean's biggest thing, is he's like, we're not looking to make money off you guys. Like, we aren't looking, you know, we're not looking to make a profit here. We just like the music, and we want to help you guys get on vinyl, because that's cool. And if they, you know, get some more recognition, or more people get attracted to the record company, or, you know, the label, then cool. But otherwise, they're just there to help us out a lot. So yeah.
Right. So you have a new album out called "You're Lucky I Like You." What inspired that title for it?
Is it a specific person?
Just like name drop him. No, but
Who is she?
Cooper
no.
Avery.
Yeah. Well, technically, in a way, yes, it's both of them. But we have a lot of inside jokes. A lot of our record titles come from just like us fucking with each other, and so like anytime we'd mess with each other, we'd just be like, "You're lucky I like you," or some shit like that. And then eventually it started to kind of catch on. I mean, the song like lyrically is very much about like, you know, sometimes your friends say shit that kind of hurts your feelings, but you're not going to stop being their friends. So, but that didn't, the lyrical side of it didn't come from these two that they know of, at least.
So did the term come first and you decided you're going to make a song and it was going to be titled that, or did you make the song and then you're like, ooh, this is going to be the title?
So yeah, like it was kind of funny because like I said, it was an inside joke. We always put a name on our songs before the lyrics are written, and then we just end up keeping whatever silly name we came up with.
Why do you think pop punk songs always have to have like a cheeky,
like a goofy
song?
name?
Yeah.
Well, I think for us, like we take our music very seriously, but typically everything else around it, like, might as well kind of have fun with it, you know? Like, I'm not gonna make a goofy song lyrically, but if the title's goofy, then that's whatever. I only ever regret making goofy song titles when we play live, because then I'm like, this next song's called. Fuck, I gotta tell people what this song is called. Oh, so goofy. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I've noticed that too, though.
Was there a specific theme you guys were shooting for with this last album?
I mean, to me, in terms of theme, I'm not sure exactly what we were going for, but I mean, the 12 songs that we have on there. So we recorded the first 8, and we were just gonna release it as 8 songs. And then the pandemic happened, and you can't do anything but write music because you can't play shows, you can't do anything else. So then we wrote another 4 songs, and I mean, they all just kind of went well together. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm kind of rambling at this point.
I guess it's kind of like, you know, like when we were talking earlier, it's like I don't know that we ever aim to like make a certain sound when we're writing, you know, but like for me personally, whenever we put out a new record, like the songs like mean like to me whatever like I experienced during that time that we made that record, you know, and it's like kind of just like it's like a time capsule in like a weird way, and like just kind of like reflects like my experience and like my growth through those like songs, you know. So like I guess that's whenever I like think about like what our album like means to us or what direction we went to, it's like that usually. So.
I mean, that's actually a perfect way to put it, is just like if we're ever like going through some shit, to me I typically think of that record. And so now, I mean, hopefully the pandemic ends but like in 20 or 30 years I'll think back to like kind of pandemic time. It's not a pandemic themed album, like there's no references to the pandemic, but like I'll definitely think about that every time and going through this process while in the middle of a global pandemic. But, yeah.
So I feel like you guys are like really mature as a band, even though you guys are so young. Do you guys attribute that just to being together so long and having to like do all this shit by yourself versus someone kind of propping you up and letting you just do the music part and be an artist?
I mean, I'd say it's that at least partly, just that we've been doing it for so long. Like, Griff and I have been playing in bands together since we were 12. So we've just had, you know, practice and repetition, you know, writing songs and playing shows and things like that.
Well, we just started touring at like a younger age too. I mean, I remember we played the show in Iowa, and we stayed at the guy who booked our show. We stayed at his house, and we're just hanging out in his room. He's like, "You guys want some beers?" And we're like 17, 18. Yeah, and we're just like, "Yeah, sure." And then eventually later in the night, he's just like, "Wait, how old are you guys?" He's just like 18. He's like,
Oh yeah.
he's like, "Oh my god."
I was talking about how. I was telling him about how our parents didn't let us tour before then, and he's like, "What?
Yeah.
How old are you guys?" I'm like, "Oh, you all just turned 18." Like I booked that tour like in high school. Like I remember like skipping class and like going to sit in my van and like messaging people trying to book the tour, you know.
That's so sick.
I could see like the worry in his face, like immediately. Like
He was like, "Oh, I just invited a bunch of children in my house."
Yeah,
like what he was
like
thinking.
I had no idea that you guys are 18. But you know, I mean, I think like going through experiences like that, you know, I guess like we come off as mature, oddly enough.
We got like a lot of great opportunities when we were younger.
Yeah,
So, I
we're
think-
very fortunate to have gone through like some pretty like substantial things for us too. It's just like, you know, just lucky, I guess. But,
Yeah.
What advice would you guys give the younger generation of band kids coming up?
As if you guys are also super old.
yeah. It's like I feel old sometimes, but I don't know. What would you say? It's really thinking about it.
Give me a minute.
I think to me, you know, you kind of gotten to this point now, like I was saying earlier. I mean, it's so easy to release music now, and what a lot of people like and what a lot of people care about is mostly authenticity. Like if you're kind of fake about whatever you're about, then I think people can tend to read through that sort of stuff. At least like with bands, you know, I think I guess my biggest piece of advice would just be like, just release stuff. Just write shit that you like and just release it, because it doesn't do any good like sitting on a hard drive or something like that, or just being in your head. And like it's really easy to get in the mindset of like, well, this isn't perfect, so I'm not going to release it, or I'm too nervous to do it. I would just say just go for it, because at the end of the day, like, you might as well let somebody hear it versus nobody.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I would just say have fun and like what you're saying, just put music out there, do it, and like don't really like, you don't have to give a shit necessarily, like,
Yeah, don't worry
if
too
people
much.
if people listen to it or if people receive it, like it should like in a lot of ways like be for yourself and like be for your own like good and for like your own connection with the people
Right.
you're making it with, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like if people like it, that's great. But if they don't,
should be
then
second to,
that
like,
should
the
be
art.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah.
like it should be secondary in a way. Like if you like it and you fuck with your music, then that's perfect.
Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need anybody else's approval. That's what I would probably say.
Right.
So do you guys feel like being super derivative is like, and clout chasing to make money is kind of like the worst form of selling out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd say that's like, in terms of like selling out, I don't know. You know, I think like, I mean, if some car company was like, hey, we want to use a Chess Club song in a commercial, I'd be like,
Hell yeah.
go for it, dude.
Right.
Yeah, like, thanks, awesome, sounds great.
But don't they like cut it up kind of weird? Like there's definitely some songs where I'm like, that's not
not the-
anything like the song
Yeah, they
actually
get,
goes.
yeah, I know. They
How
don't-
did you cut that to make it sound like
They're
a
so
completely different
selective,
song?
right? Yeah, but I mean, like, to me, what would, you know, if some company wants to use our song, great, cool. But if some like producer or label is like, hey, you guys are no longer gonna be like an emo band, you're gonna be like a new metal rap group, I'd probably say, I mean, that'd be fun. I'd have a fun time, but that's not what Chess Club would be. And so that's
Right.
where I would say changing your sound specifically to financially gain from something, I think, is kind of like what selling out really is. But I don't know, some people think if you, not that we've ever made money on our music, but if you make money off your music, then you're a sellout in a way, which doesn't make any sense. It's just like,
It's a commodity.
yeah, exactly, and it costs money, unfortunately, but it's just the world we live in.
Start making music NFTs.
I know. I just saw there was a podcast about that. I really want to listen to it.
Dude, they're interesting. Makes
Super.
no sense, but they're cool.
Super interesting.
What other hobbies besides your work and your music do you guys do to pass the time?
You guys play video games?
You guys play video games? You read books?
I play a lot of Minecraft.
There we go.
Specifically Minecraft, like too much.
What console?
Well,
PC.
I play Java Edition on my computer, but I started playing on my PS4.
Okay.
So I start and then end worlds all the time. Just start
Yeah.
over.
Seems like that's the constant cycle of Minecraft.
Yeah, right.
What about you guys?
I mean, really, like, even though it's what I'm going to school for, I guess I don't really consider it a hobby, but yeah, the main thing that main other thing that I do is video stuff, usually film stuff.
Right.
So yeah, but
Always on that side hustle.
I know, you gotta be.
I'm just into a bunch of like nerdy stuff other than music, and like I don't know, like I like gardening a lot.
There you
Dave
go.
does like gardening. He's
Yeah.
really good at it. He's really good at it.
What do you have? You have any plants?
Just tomatoes, you know, just the normal veggies and
Grow your
help-
own?
Yeah, and
That's
Yeah.
help my parents with their
self-sustainable.
orchard, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, they have an
Oh, yeah,
orchard?
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. I don't know. That's really about it.
Did you guys ever play like Rock Band or Guitar Hero?
Oh yeah, we do. I used to do that all the time. I remember so I hadn't started learning how to play guitar yet, and I called my dad over. I was like, "See what I can do in Guitar Hero," and I played this song, and then his reaction was like, "Don't you think it'd be cooler if you could actually play that on guitar?" I was just like, "Oh yeah." So then I started taking guitar lessons. But yeah, we used to do that all the time.
I was terrible at Guitar Hero as a kid. Like I could never even like halfway get it. I always assumed that meant that I couldn't play guitar too.
Naturally. If you can't even play Guitar Hero.
True. If you're bad at drums on Rock Band, you might as well never try to actually play drums.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's
gonna
the most
say.
simple shit ever.
Right.
Yeah, I was terrible at like doing the guitar in Guitar Hero in Rock Band, but we had the drum set at my house, and that was the only thing I could really do. That's what inspired me to like beg my parents for a drum set.
That's tight. See, for me, it was the opposite. I always had like my parents and like my grandparents always had like people in bands, so like I could go to my grandpa's and always jump on a drum set, or like my uncles always had guitars and basses and all this shit.
Yeah,
but I was like, I don't want this. I want a fucking PlayStation 2. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to fucking learn how to play an acoustic guitar for 4 hours and only know like the first 3 bars of a song. I want to fucking. Yeah, I want to play.
Okay. 'Cause it sounds great when it's on Guitar Hero. When I play it, I don't like it.
Exactly. It's fucking so stupid. So I know you guys already had something come out recently, but do you guys have anything in the works or any singles or anything?
Yeah, I mean, so since we're still like in the pandemic and stuff, like I guess we only have like 4 songs that are completely, for the most part, fleshed out. But I mean, we probably have in total like 15 potential songs now. So,
Already? Another?
Yeah, so it's like if we really wanted to, if we just like took a couple of weeks off work, we could come up with like another full length more or less. But I think for like the next release, we've kind of been talking about just doing the single thing where like it's just one song, shoot a cool music video for it, and maybe do some sort of physical release like a cassette tape or whatever. But
Like a little 10-inch fucking record. or
yeah,
something.
just dude, yeah, that would be sick. That'd be so. If people would buy it, I'd totally do that. but yeah. So yeah, I guess like right now for us, it's just we're just promoting this record. But I mean, I know we want to go back into the studio like at some point during the summer. At least I want to. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
Yeah, I figured that would be the plan.
yeah,
We haven't talked about it, but
yeah. I guess we're always just such on the same page anyway. but yeah, so yeah. Hopefully, I think the single thing is maybe what we're gonna try to do next, but we'll see.
Sweet. So where can people find your album?
It's all on all major streaming services as of right now. So Spotify, Apple Music. You can get it on Bandcamp. And I mean, you can get the vinyl on our Bandcamp, our record.
Get vinyl Love Garden.
You get the vinyl at Love Garden too, and
That's
guitar.
sweet.
I know that was a big moment for us, just getting to see it in Love Garden because we've gone there for years. But
Did they have it on display?
they do. They do.
so
It's
sick.
like, it's at the new. It's such like a. It's so cool. I went when I went in there to buy other records. I like walked by our record and I was just like, "Fuck yeah!" I was like, it looks so. It fits well too. I was just like, I mean, it stands out, but it looks like a real record. Because I guess it is.
It's
but
fake now.
Yeah, it's a
not
fake
real.
one. Just an empty sleeve. Yeah.
Now that you guys don't have it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Didn't actually put the vinyl.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you don't have the vinyl, you're like, it's a figment of our imagination.
Yeah.
Did he even? We have pictures of it, but did he even act? Is it real? But where can everybody find you on socials? Just everything at Chess Club Band, Chess Club KS.
Yeah, I think all of our handles are the same now, but it should just be Chess Club Band KS, just because there's so many other bands called Chess Club. We've run into a few issues there, but
Yeah,
But-
it'll be in the description of the video. It'll be everywhere.
There
Look
you go,
us
yeah,
up.
It'll be in the notes.
It'll be on the Bandcamp. You could find fucking everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been another episode of Around the Corner. I'm Ethan Doors,
Z-Dot here.
and it's been Chess Club. Awesome. Peace.
That was a good one.